invest in the cheapest house in the most expensive community and not the most expensive house in the cheapest community. So today I had three phenomenal meetings and which will help you get a lot of insight into the Dubai market. Um, and see, I'm always learning, right? I'm always learning, but I'm fortunate enough because I put value out there. I guess value hits back because today I met somebody who was born and raised in the UAE, majored in Abu Dhabi, invests in both Dubai and Sharjah, has made profits. He studied in the UK and he's an analyst. So he was basically an investment analyst and now he's into the insurance sector. We happened to meet in a mall. So I'd actually given the client to one of my consultants. And then we happened to bump into in a mall and I said, hey, we should have a cup of coffee. So he came to the office today. And we had a phenomenal discussion. And I had to share that with you because I requested him to come on to a podcast. So probably we'll have the podcast, but I'm putting this information out to you because he revealed some hidden gems of the market and I can't not let you know about these deals. Okay, let's make some money, right? So before I jump into, I'm going to have a few highlights of what we discussed. So today morning I had a call from a doctor in Australia. Okay, so there were a group of doctors who invested in about 15 plots in Jebel Ali Hills, near Palm Jebel Ali, because they wanted to build, they weren't happy with the floor plans, the quality, so they wanted to build their custom houses. This is the client I spoken about a few videos some time ago that he bought the address in Dubai Creek Harbour, one bed for 2.5 million because he's like, I love Dubai Creek Harbour. So that's an emotional investment, and I understand that. I'm very happy with the investment to the extent where he got an offer of 2.7 and he rejected it from a Chinese client. Now he's like, okay, Zohaib, I want a home for myself. So we started discussing schools. So that I came to the realization that hey, I should put my corporate relocation experience out there as well. So one of my next videos, I've listed the top 60 schools of Dubai. So I'm going to mark where are these schools, what are the communities nearby, and so you'll be able to correlate. So that's one important video. And now, so we have, it's a very difficult move for his family. So that is why he can't get into off plan at this stage, and he wants to move into a ready community. So he was confused between Jumeirah Park, Jumeirah Islands. He loves that location. So we're looking at deals over there. He loved Arabian Ranches 1. Again, beautiful community. Nadal Shiba Gardens near the downtown area. So these are the debating communities. Apart from this, we're looking at investments around the downtown area. So that's one client giving you an idea of the kind of clientele that's moving to Dubai. The next call was somebody from Germany who has been living in Dubai for 2.5 years. Now they live in Dubai Hills. They love Dubai Hills. It's the best community. So they love Dubai Hills. They really like Tilal Al Gaf. But because the rents are increasing, they're like, okay, you know what? I think it's time to invest, buy something for ourselves because the family is expanding. They're expecting a second child. And so we're looking to invest somewhere between 4 to 6 million. Where do we buy? So we were discussing about the new Imar community that's coming up. Now, he works from home. So that's another big clientele. So he works from home. Wife works in the German school in Academic City. So we're looking at those projects over there. Valley. He ideally wants to move in 2026 or 27. So we're looking at the secondary off-plan deals in that location, ideally not towards the south. So we're looking at Valley, Aldar Haven, Aldar Athlon, maybe Villanova, and the new community by Ima, Grand Polo. So that's a separate video on its own. A new master plan is very, very strong investment product. So I'll be making a very long video about Imar as well, and a lot of numbers. Third, now the amazing meeting that I had with this analyst. Now I'm going to, so he's the one who came up with that statement, right? Invest in the cheapest house and the most expensive. Normally I don't read from a diary, but this guy, it was such an interesting discussion that I had to write down my notes because he was an analyst and he majorly invests into stocks. He's like, see, Zohaib, um, for me, the safest investment in the world, okay, are the US bonds because you're investing with the US Federal Reserve and you get a 4.5% return. But it's as say that's the safest investment in the world. I'm very risk averse. I mean, I'm I want to understand what I'm getting into, right? So when I invest into a place like Dubai, there is a geographic risk premium that I need, a market risk premium, and a liquidity premium. I love that. Okay. So, and so this risk premium should at least be 3 to 4% for me to invest into Dubai or invest into a product. Okay. Now, so he looks at an off-plan property like a call option in stocks, where and if so we pre-agree on a price and we expect this much profit, right? So that's the idea of an off-plan investment. If you compare with a stock trader, and a ready investment is like investing into a bond, where you get your regular dividends. So it has to beat this. The investment, the real estate investment, has to beat this. Another very interesting angle that he gave is that, see, for people who look at Dubai like a bubble, the most interesting aspect would be to compare the benchmark. How do you benchmark your investment, right? So it would be to compare that, okay, in 2013, what was the GDP and what is the average price per square foot in the Dubai market? So the GDP in 2013 was around 400 billion US dollars, and the average price per square foot is around 1,300 dirham per square foot. And now the GDP is close to $504 billion, and the average price per square foot is 1,600. It means that this is a very healthy, sustainable growth. So that was a very interesting perspective. Um, how do you so the economic output of a country is the GDP basically, and how do you benchmark your investments? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just going through the book. Okay, then he mentioned how he's bullish on UAE because of the long-term vision of UAE, right? How they are investing into sustainability, how they're investing into AI, and just that casino, So by coming up with the casino, they're going to pull the crowd from Macau, from Monaco, and then we happen to dabble into the discussion of Alabar. Right? Alabar did not become a billionaire because of Emar. Alabar is the chairman of Emar. So he didn't become a billionaire because of Emar. He became a billionaire because of his vision, his mindset. So he was one of the chief advisory to the government, and so about his investment in Noon and Americana. So I didn't know this. So again, you can constantly learn from people, right? So I mean, just his investment in for example, when Souk was taken over by Amazon, that was almost 900 million of foreign direct investment of the country. So that was very interesting on how Emiratis in itself are such visionaries. The fact that they constantly invest every year into 50 unicorn companies. Good. Now, a bit of history of Dubai. So the government basically had four horsemen, and they invested, or they gave equal amounts of money to their four horsemen. Imar, Nakil, Diyar, DP. That was their main four horsemen. And and the reason why Dubai can grow at the rate at which it's growing, unlike other countries, is because the labor is really cheap, right? And so they can as long as they have that positive cash flow, they're able to expand at a very, very strong rate. Now he had some reservations. So for him, Imar was the strongest. So this is again, it's his perspective. Okay, this is a very interesting perspective. I'm just giving you angle, and I'm going to give you some really strong angles against some developers. But he mentioned this quote that Imar is like McDonald's. It's like the fries of McDonald's. It's consistent. It's great. It may not be the highest premium quality, but you cannot go wrong with an Imar. And to maintain, see, how a McDonald's fries is going to taste. It's never changed. So he's like Imar's like that McDonald's fries. It's like it's going to stay constant. I love the way he put that across. Miras, even though it was premium quality, for example, but the fact that Dubai Holdings had to take over Miras, Maidan, and Nakheel speaks volumes, because they sort of did not perform as well. For example, La Mer did not work, even though it was a premium quality product. Nakheel, he did not have very good experiences, because he was born and raised, right? His parents, his relatives have always invested constantly to the market. So he's giving, this is the feedback of a very veteran person who's always been and understood the market waves of Dubai. Okay, and he believes in Dubai. Now he was like, see, Nakheel, the problem is that, for example, International City, right? So it was sold initially. It was sold to investors as it's going to be like the French Riviera. If you saw the initial ideas of International City, it was like this extremely premium location, right? And now it's almost like, well, he mentioned this like I don't want to say the word. How do I put this? Okay, he said eat that. Like this, he called it the and it was very disappointing for investors, because they expected something premium, and he had that problem with Nakheel. Like, for example, when they're the master developers of Varsan, till date they never completed it. They just left it to RTA to build the roads. So he had these complaints against Nakheel. That's why he liked Imar. Imar was his number one in terms of the government developers. DP was, he had a very neutral opinion, because maybe they never gave the most premium properties, but DP never failed. For example, DP means properties like JBR, Mudon, um, Villanova, the Villa, where maybe you're not talking about the highest quality products, but it never failed, and it could never challenge the brand like Imar and Mirage, but he didn't have any negative opinion towards Dubai properties. Now, well, he spoke quite negative about Azizi. Maybe I should not. I don't want a defamation case, but the fact that okay, that's it. I'm gonna stop it there. I'll stop right there. I don't want any. But now we go see the most important part of this video is that we're going to head to the hidden gems that he discussed, and I was like, boom, yes, you're right. Okay. So he did mention that we need to calculate the IRR. Now I have to sit down with him, because I do not know this. Okay, and because it's a term used in corporate finance, because we need to incorporate the time value, and we have to incorporate the inflation towards an investment as well. Then only will we actually be able to derive the actual value that we are receiving. And he mentioned about Nakheel, like in terms of like, see, initially Nakheel gave these really bold plans about Palm Jebel Ali, with this Palm Jumeirah, and then this Palm Jebel Ali, the twice the size of Palm Jumeirah, and then there was Palm Dera. It didn't span out as such, and that is why he had some reservations against Nakheel, which is fine. See, I'm a I just listen to people's perspective. I enjoy hearing that and then processing it, and then assessing an investment accordingly. So now let's get into the fun parts, okay? The gems of Dubai real estate, okay? Actually, Dubai Silicon Oasis. Now, I didn't look at it that way. Now, I've told, in 2013, I did some of my biggest business in Dubai Silicon Oasis. I think sold over like 10, 12 buildings over there in Dubai Silicon Oasis. So now the most important part is that the chairman of DS and the chairman of Emirates are the same. Okay, so a lot of experimental. Now I've observed this in Dubai Silicon Oasis. Okay, they're going to try the automated drone drops in Silicon Oasis. They had this robots delivering. So Talabat had robots delivering like a pilot batch in Dubai Silicon Oasis. The other day I met somebody from Emirates and he mentioned that okay, Emirates engineering is going to come to Dubai Silicon Oasis. So there's going to be a lot of the occupancy of Dubai Silicon Oasis is so high that there is going to be so many people working from Dubai Silicon Oasis, and hence you should definitely consider Dubai Silicon Oasis when you speak about at least talk about it. Okay. Now I asked him, okay, are you going to invest over there? He's like, see, I would buy there as an end user because he loves Silicon Oasis. So he lives in Silicon Oasis. He works in the Dubai outsource zone. So he's like, I would live there because Gems Wellington is one of the best schools. My son studies there as well. So he's like, Gems Wellington is one of the best schools. So I would not mind living in Dubai Silicon Oasis as an end user. But some very important facts are that, so the Etihad rail, okay, is divided. There is the first section that's going to, the first phase of the Etihad rail, where the lines are complete. So I've been very curious about this, that okay, when are they going to launch it? So the plan would be that, see, anytime there's a bit of a dip, so this is what Dubai does, right? They plan their launches. If you think, okay, why isn't the Creek Tower coming up? Every time there's maybe a slight dip in the sales, they would announce certain projects, would give a boost to the sales of projects in Dubai. In front of Fakir Hospital, that's the name. It is the name, okay? You can just put a picture of that, okay? There's going to be one of the metro stations actually off the Etihad rail, and that's going to be a big booster, so a very, very big indicator for that particular location. And the E311, which is one of the main highways, will have multiple entry exits to both DSO and Warsan, which brings me to, apart from studying the interesting, so he's mentioned a few projects in Silicon Oasis. I'm going to make a report on these products that we're discussing today. Second, there's a location called Greenwood, which is right at the border of Dubai Silicon Oasis, which has some phenomenal townhouse and villa opportunities. And I feel like if the metro rail comes in, there are more universities coming up in academic city. There's a lot of, so if I compare DSO and DLRC, he said, oh, I'll definitely consider Dubai Silicon Oasis. It's going to be a phenomenal investment opportunity. He's mentioned a few projects. I'm going to add this to my report. So that's location number one. We were discussing a bit about all these celebrities. So recently there was some very prominent celebrities saying that, okay, we have purchased property in this particular project, okay, in Business Bay. I don't want to mention the name of the developer. So his perspective was that, okay, this is like a publicity scam. An actual celebrity would not announce where he's going to live. He would want privacy, especially at that level. So these were one of the top footballers in the world, and the top musicians in the world. So it was just a publicity stunt, and do not get fazed by it. I think that was very good advice. And this guy, like I said, you must understand his due diligence is at another level. So he's look at this particular project that he discovered. So one of the reasons why this guy's been following me last 4 years from the time he started. So he's like, see, I'm a YouTube junkie. I love studying every YouTuber out there. He listens to the videos at a 2x speed and processes everything. So he constantly listens so that he makes his own analysis. To the extent where I'm going to give the next really two extremely interesting areas, okay? So in this particular project in Silicon Valley, he just mentioned that, okay, they used Kohler finishes in bathrooms. So he's like, I really enjoyed the way you said in Nabni about the finishes. I was very specific about the products that they used because the owner Al Jazeera. So I mentioned these facts that okay, the owner Al Jazeera himself went to Italy, chose the marble, chose the leather finishes, the bathroom fittings, and when he went and studied, it was actually true. So that's why he understood that I'm into these minor details when it comes to a project construction. And he was the same. So he mentioned this particular product where what fittings they use. So that's one product I'll definitely add into my. I need to just research. So it was a product by Yas developers. So I'm going to get into. We'll study that a bit into that as well. Um, Second area. So now three most important areas. Okay, a bit of a correction. The Etihad rail was not in Silicon Oasis. The metro station is coming in front of Faki Hospital. Now we're going to get into the Etihad rail, which is going to be, there are two touch points from phase one. Okay, this is extremely important and it will drive the market in those locations. Okay. One is a location in Sharjah, and he has invested in the phase one of that project. Now, I'm going to do a bit of due diligence, but I will make a report on this. And so I'm going to visit this site on Thursday. Okay. I already spoke about Old Hay Villas, and he actually studied the project and he said it makes sense. So this is a project nearby, and it's just a 10-minute drive to that first station in Sharjah. Okay. Now, just a brief. Okay, the 3 beds townhouses go around 1.8 million, but the killer is the payment plan. It's around 3575. Killer payment plan. Now the problem is in the first phase launch of this product, they was selling at 1585 and 2080 payment plans. But what the investors or the speculators, what they did is when they saw 1585, they picked up 3 4 products. And now when they're trying to flip it, the developers like, I'm sorry, I cannot give you NOC because we don't want speculators. And they're under a lot of fix right now. And you know the developer's saying, he's like, okay, if you can't pay, give me the product back and I'll buy it back from you. That's how confident that developer was on his product. So we are going to go on Thursday, study the product. So there's this project in Silicon Oasis. There's this particular product in Sharjah. Now somebody had commented that, okay, there's no alcohol in Sharjah and so that's not interesting. You know what's very interesting? Who are the major people who have bought in this particular project? The people who are renting in Dubai Hills, because this project was extremely green, phenomenal infrastructure, beautiful floor plans, high quality construction. So they were some of the major people, end users, families who did not mind Sharjah being a non-alcoholic state, emirate. Were very and people who could work with their laptop. They don't necessarily need to go to an office because yes, I do understand the traffic situation in Sharjah. But like for example, people like me, I asked my office, okay, what time should we head out over there? So we'll head out around 10, 11 in the morning. So there's no traffic. I'll come by. So it's just about planning your day. Investor number one. Investor number two. Now, it's very difficult because they have not given any information about this, but he went through all the engineering journals. And one of the most important information was that the station, the Etihad rail station that's going to come will be accompanying an existing metro station. So when he studied the journal, the station appeared to be close to Jumeirah Golf Estates. Now, the nearest metro station to Jumeirah Golf Estates is Al Furjan. Now, we studied some key projects in Al Furjan. And now I've advised in another video where information is key. How do you make money in real estate? It's by getting such information. Now, that's why I love having such conversation with people who do so much of research and I'm able to give you value because this is how we get that information. So we identified some key projects in Furjan. Okay. Now you must understand this. Etihad Rail is going to connect Saudi, UAE, UAE to Saudi. Okay, that's why it's going to be a very, very key project. Now, the third location that we have identified is this is not the first phase, but the secondary phase where there's the bullet train, where you can reach Abu Dhabi in 30 minutes. The first station in Dubai is going to be in Jeddah. So we've identified some interesting investment opportunities in Jeddah as well. And most important part about Jeddah is that it's going to be the first station that connects to Dubai Creek Harbor. So I have a phenomenal investment opportunity in Jeddah. So till now we've covered Warsan, Dubai Silicon Oasis, Jeddah. Now there's this villa townhouse community in Sharjah. Now finally, a very interesting note is that now you've got the Dubai Creek Harbor. Right opposite Dubai Creek Harbor, there's this Ras Al Khor area where it's again very prime real estate because it's opposite downtown Dubai, right? Currently, one of the projects there is Shobha 1, this Heartland 2, and that entire area, it was local. All the garages are being cleared. But what's most important about this location is that a person who's standing in the property, again, if you get into the right investment, if you look straight, you'll have full creek view, creek tower, creek harbor, the Ras Al Khor Wildlife Sanctuary. It's beautiful. The view is beautiful. And if you turn left, you will get the downtown skyline view. So at the right point in time, you will have Creek Tower and Burj Khalifa view. So that's another phenomenal investment. And again, we discussed some projects over there. So these five, so that's, and now we briefly got into about some where are the best luxury villa communities as well. So now I'm going to sort of club that with the Grand Polo and my UK, this hunting with this 50 million investor house hunting that I did, because he finally bought a property. I want to reveal that as well. Where did that investor buy property? And somehow I want to add this information that he gave me, because I had concerns about the location, but he gave me such strong facts about acres, about Oasis, and such important facts that I'd like to release that into the next. But these 5 locations, Silicon Oasis, Warsan, Jeddah, and these townhouse communities in Sharjah, and that Ras Al Khor area, projects where we can get the creek view and the creek tower view. This was going to be a report. If you're interested, see, I'd like to understand feedback from you, because I love doing this research. I love studying projects. I constantly speak to people from the government, with investors, to dig deep and make sure I give value to my subscribers. And I get really happy when I meet such investors, because if such veteran investors choose me, it really means a lot. So if you're interested in this report, please do click the link and do send a request. And I'm going to work on this report, and I'm going to make sure that you get the best projects in these locations. And I'll schedule a Zoom call. It'll be either with me or one of my consultants that I'm going to train specifically on this, because I'll be happy if you make money. I really hope you enjoy this video. And I hope, please do share in the comments. I'm going to start replying to all my comments, because I want to know if this has been valuable to you. You really enjoyed this post. And thank you so much for all the love and support. With your help, I think we're going to take 3x capital. I'm negotiating about opening up an office in the UK. And we're going to host our first event in Miami in April. So I'm in negotiations with that as well. And the dream of having an office in Singapore. These are few events that are lined up for this year. In China as well. These 4 places we are intending, but the first international office I intend to have it in the UK. So I hope that goes well. I'm really excited about sharing this report with you, and some more details about the Etihad Rail, about the bullet train. And if you have any questions, feel free to share in the comments below. And I want to have a podcast with this person, this analyst, Please do let me know what questions you'd like to ask him. If you're a stock trader and you have some questions how to connect stocks and real estate, I'd love to get into that discussion. I'm meeting. I'm going to onboard one of my investors from Belgium who was into crypto is planning to join as a consultant. So next I'll be getting him as well. So people understand, can connect like stocks versus real estate, crypto versus real estate. I'm very excited about these discussions. But right now I'm very excited about this particular report. Please do let me know if you're interested. And thank you for watching. Moments ahead.